Welcome to the Your Business on Purpose podcast, the ultimate resource for women business owners looking to confidently navigate their entrepreneurial journey while upholding their principles. I'm Dawnette Palmore, your host and fellow entrepreneur. Join me as we immerse ourselves in illuminating conversations with accomplished experts spanning various fields across the business spectrum. Together, we'll unearth strategic insights into seizing opportunities and ensuring that your business is equipped with the essential elements aligned with your purpose and values. Can I ask you a question? If someone audited your business tomorrow, would you know exactly where everything is? Your receipts, your contracts, your bank statements, your tax documents, or would you be digging through your email, your download folder, QuickBooks, purse, glove box, hoping that you could find what you needed? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Most business owners aren't disorganized because they don't care. That is just not the case. We're disorganized because nobody ever taught us what we actually need to keep. Welcome back to Your Business on Purpose. I am your host, Dawnette Palmore, and today we're talking about what financial records you should actually be keeping, how long you should keep them, and why it matters. I think this is a really very important topic as we are, oh my gosh, can we say it? We're halfway over with this year, right? We're going into the 8th month of the year. I cannot believe this. And I don't want to see you scrambling at the end of the year. I've done this so many times. Actually, we don't even scramble at the end of the year. We scramble a week before taxes are due. I mean, let's just be real. That's what I've done. I'm like, oh no, where's all this? I got to get this done. I got to get that done. Okay, so keeping good financial records isn't about making your accountant happy, your CPA, whatever. It's really about protecting you, protecting your business, making better business decisions, and of course, running your business with confidence. All the things that this podcast has talked about in past episodes. And this is another thing. So don't worry about trying to write everything down while you're listening, okay? I have a free resource for you. It's going to be in the show notes, so don't worry about that. You can get home or get back to the office and then either go to YouTube or you can be here on Spotify or any podcast app that you're listening to. It'll all be in my show notes. So the free resource is going to help you build a stronger financial foundation in your business because everything starts on foundation. And I'm going to explain more at the end of this episode, but I want to jump in. So I want you to imagine we're sitting across from each other having coffee, which I have my coffee right here. If you are listening, you can hear me sip my coffee. I love coffee. And anyways, let's have a cup of coffee together, right? You're asking the questions, I'm answering them. So one question I get is, Dawnette, do I really need to keep receipts anymore? Everything is digital. And I love this question because the answer is yes, but maybe not the way you're thinking, because you probably went, oh my gosh, I got to get a shoebox and put everything back in my shoebox. I mean, the way that they used to do it, right? No. You don't need a shoebox full of crumpled receipts anymore. Thank God we don't have to have that anymore. We have technology, right? But you do need proof, I should say, of your business expenses. What does that proof look like, you're asking? It could be a digital receipt. Sometimes companies will text me my receipt. It could be an email invoice or receipt. I get that as well. A PDF or a picture you took with your phone. And something I also love is that if you use QuickBooks, I'm not sure if any other app has this or any other accounting platform has this. Let me know if they do, because I would love to know. But you can actually download, even if you have desktop, which I use desktop. I know, I'm old school. I'm trying to pull it up here. So you can get that QuickBooks app on your phone and you just take a picture of your receipts. Hit receipt and then it's going to ask you to take a picture. I mean, that's pretty cool. And then you throw it away because who wants to keep that, right? You have a digital copy of it. So the IRS doesn't care whether it's paper or digital. They care that you can support the deduction you're claiming. That's really what this is all about. This isn't about nitpicking. It's not about shaming. It's not about any of that stuff. This is really about protecting you and your business. So if you buy a new computer, keep the receipt, right? Take a picture of it, put it in an email, put it in a folder. whatever is convenient for you. If you attend a conference, which I'm hoping you are because we learned so much at those, keep the hotel invoice and your registration confirmation. If you pay for monthly software, keep those invoices too. Most of them will send you invoices, or you can go download the invoice through the platform. This isn't about, saving paper, okay? None of this is about saving paper. None of this is about, again, nitpicking. It's about protecting yourself if questions ever come up. God forbid you get audited, okay? Second question is, what about bank statements? Oh my gosh, does anybody even look at those anymore? QuickBooks already has everything. QuickBooks doesn't have everything. QuickBooks is QuickBooks and accounting software. I don't want to just say QuickBooks. Could be any accounting software you're using, is absolutely a fantastic bookkeeping tool, but it is your bookkeeping system. Our bank statements is our official financial record, right? Because even though, we can connect these accounting platforms to our bank, but we can also manually enter stuff, and it's not an official financial record as the IRS would say. So definitely you want to print those out, or again, download them, keep them somewhere. I don't love paper, but I like to have a hard copy somewhere for me. So I print my bank statements out. I love to double check with what my bookkeeping software says. Maybe I do like paper, but I like to see it, okay? I like to see things. That's why I have paper. It helps me. And if I need to work on something, I have it in front of me, because if I put it away, I forget about it. Real problem. Anyways, okay, there are two. So bookkeeping and official financial records are two different things, right? If your bank feed disconnects, if something gets accidentally deleted, if your CPA asks a question, or if you ever have fraud on your account, those bank statements become incredibly valuable. And in all honesty, you should be looking at those every single month. I just had a client I was talking to. One was being charged $40 a month for some remote on their phone they had no idea they were being charged for. Some realized they were double paying for subscriptions and stuff. So that's why we need to look. And sometimes we don't catch fraud right away. That's happened to me. I didn't catch the fraud right away till I saw it on the bank statement. I'm like, what is this? So very important to be reviewing those as well. So, my recommendation is very, very simple. As I've said, download your statements every month and save them to a folder, whether it's a physical folder or it's a digital folder. It literally takes less than a minute, and your future self will thank you. Okay, so another question that I get is, so what financial record should every business owner actually have? And that is a great question, right? Because that thought alone could be overwhelming. And so I thought, well, how can we make this super simple, right? Let's put this in 5 simple categories. One is income. We've talked about income many times. Income is all the money that comes into your business. And then we have expenses. We need to keep track of our expenses. That's everything that comes out of our business, our account, I should say. We need bank statements. We went over that. Tax documents. Now, tax documents can be different things, right? Tax documents isn't just the filing of your taxes, but if you're running payroll, you have documents that you need to get from your payroll company. If you're 1099 people, anything, if you're getting interest in your business off dividend or something like that, you need to have those tax documents. And then, of course, any legal documents that you need or that you have pertaining to your business and your personal. I mean, this applies to both instances. So if you keep those 5 categories organized, I would say you're in pretty good shape, right? So let's just break those down a little bit. Okay. So I said income, expenses, bank statements, tax documents, and legal documents. So okay, again, your next question is, well, what does that mean? What does that include? I briefly described it, but let's get a little bit more into it, right? So again, income is anything that shows money coming into your business. Things like invoices, sales reports, deposit records, payment processor reports, and any 1099s you receive from other companies. If it shows that you have earned money, keep it. And we're going to talk about how long you need to keep this stuff in a minute, but let's first dive into get through each of these. Expenses. Again, anything showing money going out, right? So receipts, vendor invoices, software subscriptions, equipment purchases, travel expenses, mile logs, meals when they're business related. And we can get into what that is on a whole nother podcast. But again, this is not about keeping every single piece of paper because, I mean, if I was you listening to this, I'd be overwhelmed by what these people are telling me. Like, she's telling me I got to keep all of this stuff. But the answer is yes, you do. But we don't have to keep a paper copy of everything, right? We need to look at this differently. Okay, let's rephrase. I love to rephrase because that really changes the way that we think about things, the way that we feel about things. It isn't about keeping every single piece of paper. It's really about having documentation. And documentation is everything. Documentation is our proof. Documentation shows that we did such and such. Okay, the third thing we talked about was bank statements. Yes, every single month. Business checking. If you have more than one business checking, yes. Business savings. If you have more than one business savings, yes. Business credit cards. If you have more than one business credit card, yes. Loan statements. These are huge, right? These are official records that we need to be keeping. And then we touched a little bit on tax documents. So one, do not throw your tax documents away after tax season, right? We need to keep our tax returns. We need to keep our payroll reports, our sales tax filings, if that applies to you, your 1099s, your W-9s, and any notice you receive from the IRS, or even your state. You need to keep those. Those are documentations. These are proof. They're everything. I can't stress that enough. Now, we're going to touch on the last one, legal documents. Now, this category, people can forget or we can kind of push aside. But what is important is something like your LLC paperwork. That really should be somewhere you can get to easily, or your S Corp paperwork, or your C Corp paperwork, or whatever paperwork you have for your entity of your business. An operating agreement, your business licenses, insurance policies, client contracts, independent contractor agreements, and I cannot stress enough how important legal documents are. When I had my appraisal business for car damage way back when, so I'm in the state of California, they changed the definition of a subcontractor. But before they changed that, I had a agreement that I had each one of my contractors sign. There was statements they had to initial that they read, everything, okay? They had to have their own business insurance. They were their own entity. They were not an employee. I made that very, very, very clear. Anyways, I don't want to dive too deep into that. The reason I say this is because I had those, I actually had two independent contractors or subcontractors, whichever you want to call them, try to say that they thought they were employees and that I didn't pay this tax and that tax. I had the documentation. With that documentation and a very good attorney, we sent back, hey, you signed this. This is the law in California at this time. You signed it. You were very aware, and it went away. That's how important this stuff is, because you never know what's going to happen. I mean, one of these guys worked for us for a very long time. Anyways, okay, so these documents also affect our business financially, so they belong with our financial records. As I just said, if I had not had that documentation, who knows how those cases would have, what it would have done to my business, what fines or whatever I would have to pay. Also, I would say in this, I'm going to add keeping email and text message documentation between employees, vendors, all this stuff, because I had an employee. This time they were an employee. We had a disagreement. They wanted this day off. I said they couldn't take the day off. Please pick another day. I don't have anybody to cover for you. Pick another day. You can have a day off. It's fine. I'm not against you taking a day off. They insisted that they have this day off, that they weren't going to do it. They weren't going to come in, all this stuff. I had all this in text message, all of it. I had to let the person go. They filed unemployment, and I had to go and fight that because they weren't entitled to it, because I had to let them go because of the whole conversation. Anyways, I took all those text messages into the unemployment court, I guess is what it is. And I won because I had all that documentation. Documentation is king. Okay, so the next question is, you're thinking, okay, Dawnette, this is a lot of stuff I have to keep. This is a lot. how long do I need to keep this? So let's make this super simple, right? Tax returns and supporting documents need to be kept at least 7 years. Okay. Bank statements, at least 7 years, because that's part of supporting documents for our tax returns, right? Formation documents like your LLC, S Corp, whatever that is, whatever entity you have set up, obviously keep those permanently. Insurance policies, keep your current policies and hanging on to the older ones. Okay, I would say 7 years. Contracts. Now, I usually tell my clients to keep them permanently because digital storage is very inexpensive. Having to recreate documents years later is not. And, I would just say it would probably be safer to keep the contracts permanently because you just never know what gets in people's heads. And again, this is a type of documentation and documentation is king. So now you're thinking, well, now I'm really overwhelmed. This is really overwhelming, Donna. I don't know what to do. Where do I start? Oh no, am I behind? No, start today, not next week, not tomorrow, right now. Right after you finish this podcast, put it in your calendar. Hey, I need to start keeping this. Please don't wait any longer if you had. This is so very important. And you should be hearing this from CPAs, accountants. Please keep your documentation immediately. Start, please. Please, please, please. I would say you could be old school like me and print everything out. You could do that. And some things I take pictures of and put in my accounting app. Or you could create one folder on your computer called Business Records 2026, 2027, whatever year it's in, right? You can even do subcategories inside those folders called income, expenses, bank statements, taxes, legal documents. That's it. You put those in there. Super simple, right? And every month or you could do it as you get the receipt, as you remember, throw it in there. Delete the email. You're done. You do not have to organize the last 5 years today. I mean, please don't think, oh my gosh, I haven't done it. No, just start being organized going forward. Okay, that's what I always tell my clients. Okay, this is what happened. Fine, it's over. Let's do this going forward. Let's do this going forward. Progress is always better than perfection. So please, 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 please keep your documentation, keep those receipts. And I know it's like one more thing you got to do, but you know what? Imagine if you got audited and you didn't have all that together. Could you imagine the time it would take to find all of that stuff? When if you had just put it in the folder, you could just say, boop, here it is. And when we're under stress, like things are harder to find. I don't know about you, but I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm that. And time goes by faster when I'm late. And when I'm stressed out, I can't find what I'm looking for. And if we just do it and organize it now and make it a habit, it's easy peasy, right? It makes things that much easier. Here's what I would love for you to take away from this conversation today. Keeping good financial records is about preparing for an audit. I'm not saying you're going to get audited. I'm not wishing that on you. I wish that on absolutely no one, but you have to be prepared. Okay. This isn't about making your CPA happy. Okay. Not at all. It's about making your life easier. When someone asks for a document, you know exactly where it is. Here you go. It's just like our money. When we have documented our money, what we want it to do, we know exactly what it's doing. We don't have to question it. When tax season comes around, guess what? You're not stressed because everything's there. When you look at your numbers, you are able to trust them because because you've put the work in, because you've made the documentations. And if there's been times I'm like, what is that charge for? Like, I don't know what that is. I can't remember. And then I go and find the receipt or the documentation for it. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I remember, right? And when you have confidence in your numbers, you make better business decisions. That's what this is really all about. So if you're thinking, or you found yourself thinking, I don't know, I didn't know I was supposed to be keeping that, or I really need to get more organized, you're exactly why I created my free ebook, Financial Literacy for Business Owners. I wrote it because I realize that most business owners were never taught the financial side of running a business. I mean, we just weren't. And you know what? I guess in all honesty, we weren't even taught to manage our personal finances. So how are we going to translate that into business finances? We're just not. So We know how to do what we love. We know how to serve our clients, right? But understanding our finances, most of us really had to figure that out on our own. And if you know my story, I did, not just on my personal side, but on the business side. So inside this ebook, I walk you through the financial foundations every business owner should understand, okay? Including financial reports you need, how to read them, the numbers you should be looking at every month, how to improve your cash flow, how to think about profit beyond just revenue, how to prepare for taxes instead of scrambling when they're due, and of course, practical steps you can start today to build a stronger, healthier business financially. It's written the same way I teach and the same way that we talk today. Very plain English, no confusing financial jargon, just practical information that will help you feel more confident making financial decisions in your business. You can download it for free. It's absolutely free using the link in the show notes. Just click it, put your name, your email, and it will go to your inbox. And when you do, you will also become a part of my community where I share practical financial business tips, strategies, and encouragement to help you build a business that supports the life you want, not the one that consistently leaves you wondering, where did all my money go? So if today's episode was helpful, would you do me a favor? Share it with another business owner, give it a like, put a comment, subscribe to it, because chances are they're asking themselves some of these same questions too. Thank you so much for spending this part of your day with me and having coffee with me. And just remember, building a financially healthy business isn't about being perfect. It's about making one good decision at a time. Until next time, keep building your business on purpose. This podcast is dedicated to you and all the incredible women out there breaking chains, pushing through, and striving to make it all work. Your support truly means the world to me. Could you do me a favor? Be a gem and leave a review. It will help us reach even more women, making a bigger impact. Your feedback is invaluable, and I would genuinely appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, ensuring you never miss an episode. Until next week, live a purposeful life in both your business and your finances.